Hey, the Summer of Tire Rack Sweepstakes rolls on. One winner has already been selected to win a set of 4 brand new tires, and now 2 more winners have the opportunity to win a set of 4 tires plus installation taxes and fees. It's valued at up to $1,500. Enter daily, which gets you a new entry into the contest every single day. To enter, you go to foxsportsradio.com to boost your chances to win. 2 more winners will take home a set of 4 new tires between now and August 27th, this being the first day of August. To enter and get those rules, visit foxsportsradio.com, sponsored by TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Is there a headache awaiting Kansas City? Has the headache already arrived? The leader, the Mahomes of the defense, is nowhere to be seen. Now, we've talked about this a few times over the last month or so, and it's back. Yes, the Chiefs' defensive stalwart, keeping up with the Joneses. Chris Jones does it all for the Kansas City defense, and he also continues to hold out at this point. He is not reported to duty. He does have a contract. He says, I don't like that contract. I'd like a new contract. So would I, by the way. But I'm not holding out. I'm here. And I think most people would like new contracts, but they show up to work. But this guy, Chris Jones, is making it very clear that he is prepared to not only continue his holdout into the regular season, but his sabbatical will go deep, deep into the 2023 regular season, if you believe the ratcheting up of tensions for Chris Jones. Now, if you didn't see this, and I'm going to assume that you're not following defensive players from the Kansas City Chiefs, because most of the audience, not Chiefs fans. But if you did miss it, and you probably did, Chris Jones responding to a troll, a fan, I don't know, you make your mind up, responding to someone or a bot who asked when he plans on showing up to his job with the Kansas City football team. Chris Jones revealed that he is willing to hold out until, wait for it, week 1? No. Week 2? No, not week 2. How about 3? Do I hear week 3? Is week 3? How about 4? Week 4? No? How about double that? Week number 8. Week number 8, he says he plans on holding out until at least week 8 of the 2023 championship campaign. Now, Jones is entering the final year of his contract, and he wants to get paid the riches of Solomon and anyone else that's got a lot of money. Go down the list, the rich people. He wants Jeff Bezos money. He wants Elon Musk money, Zuckerberg. He wants that kind of money. By NFL standards, of course. And we are hearing now through the grapevine that Chris Jones wants to be the second, at worst, the second highest paid player at his position, a.k.a. the Donald, as in Aaron Donald. You can ram it all day, you can ram it all night. The Rams were so giddy when they won the Super Bowl. They were like Oprah Winfrey handing out cars with contracts. You get a contract, you get a new contract, everyone gets a new contract. Mega millions. All right, now, let us discuss the question. Talking about Kansas City football and the defensive side, the Chris Jones plan that he will miss 8 weeks of the regular season for Kansas City. Thumbs up or thumbs down to this being a big deal for the Chiefs, that Chris Jones planning on missing 8 weeks of the regular season. So I'm going to go thumbs down on this one. The reason I'm going thumbs down, I've got Aristotle, Misery Index, and suspended animation. And we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make a nice legal massage. Not the kind of massage Deshaun Watson got, but the legal massage. So, Chris Jones is, based on his commentary, unwavering is the word I will use. He's unwavering with his demands, which you kind of have to be, right? There's a little bit of performance art involved in this. You got to be a douchebag. You got to be an a-hole. You got to let the world know that you mean business. Otherwise, people will just ignore you. So he's digging into the bunker publicly Jones, and he's already racked up. This is the part that blows me away. I would need anxiety medication if you told me that I was getting fined $50,000 a day and I had to pay the money. He's been fined over $1 million because, according to the CBA, you can be fined $50,000 per day that you don't show up to work and you're under contract. So he's already out over $1 million in fines, which he has to pay. Now, that being said, is it true that Chris Jones made a tactical error? Ding, 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 ding. Yes. Yes, Chris Jones did make a tactical error. I'm nodding my head yes. And what was that tactical error? Let me tell you why he made the error. The error was revealing your hand. It's like playing a game of poker. He gave the end date. And by giving the end date, he then cheapened the holdout. So let me explain. So if you're Andy Reid and the big brass there with the Chiefs, you're in pretty good shape right now. You feel like you've won. Now, you haven't won because he always changed his mind, go longer than that. But Chris Jones said he had budgeted. He has enough money. He can afford to miss 8 weeks of the regular season. So keep in mind that if you're Andy Reid and the Chiefs, you just twiddle your thumbs and let this kamikaze mission financially play out. Chris Jones is willing to give up game checks for each game for the first 8 weeks of the regular season. Each game check, $1 million, over $1 million per game that he gets paid, and he's willing to give that up. If you believe him, you take him at face value. So based on the base salary of $19.5 million for Chris Jones, using Maller math, he is willing to give back $8.666 million in salary. So that's a whole lot of cheddar that you're willing to push back, but that's what he says. He says he's budgeted for that. And Kansas City's going to be fine because as long as Chris Jones is there midway through the season, he'll actually end up being fresher down the stretch, assuming he doesn't break a leg and is actually out there on the field. But even if he goes AWOL for the Chiefs defense here, as the Greek philosopher back in the day, Aristotle, he said the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And so he is replaceable. And he's been balling. He's been great, Chris Jones. But he's replaceable. Kansas City just have to be a little bit better on offense. Everyone and everything is just temporary, to quote Jim Irsay. But Chris Jones will be back, based on his own reporting, by Week 9. That's November 5th. The Chiefs, I think they have one of those international games. They play the Miami Dolphins across the ocean, if I have that correct. Now, page 2 here. Let's go to Indianapolis. After the Colts granted their running back Jonathan Taylor a opportunity to go out and roam around and find a new contract out in the boondocks of the NFL. They gave him permission to seek a trade. The market is taking shape. Now, I get a kick out of this because you've got the Colts side that is leaking, nobody wants this guy, we're not getting any real offers. Then you've got the agent for Jonathan Taylor, who is leaking all kinds of amazing offers, better than expected. You can tell who's writing the story, where they got the source from. It's either from the Taylor camp or the Colts camp. The Colts are saying, nobody really wants this guy. They're not offering what we want. And then the Taylor side's like, oh, yeah, man, this guy, there's so many teams horny for this guy. They want to get a hold of him. And so you can tell how that's going. Now, if you look at the reporting, state-funded NFL network reporting, the Colts are receiving interest. The phone's been ringing. What happened to the text? But there's other reports indicating that it's not the case, so really take what you want. Now, regardless of that, the gambling folks over DraftKings, partner of Fox Sports Radio, they have the Miami Dolphins at plus 250. They're the favorite to get Taylor, followed by the Chicago Bears and the Baltimore Ravens. Bears are plus 400. Ravens are plus 700. And then after that on DraftKings, the Broncos and the Cowboys are plus 750 for Jonathan Taylor. So what do the gambling odds regarding Jonathan Taylor Colts trade tell us? What do the gambling odds tell us? So the gambling market, the trade market based on looking how the gambling market works, it's like the misery index. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to tell you what's going to happen, but people on Wall Street say, well, that's a big indicator, the misery index and all that. So it's kind of like that, where you're looking around, you're like, okay, it's a pretty good indicator. There's really no surprise on the board. The Dolphins, everyone's like, Dolphins. That's been there. The Bears and the Ravens are the top three, and they all make varying degrees of sense. Miami needs, they don't necessarily need it, but they'd be better off with a name brand running back and a guy that they can count on. Although, can you really count on Taylor? He missed a bunch of games last year. And then you look at Baltimore. They're trying to go all in and keep up with Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Buffalo, and they need more weapons for Lamar Jackson. And then Chicago, they're trying to make a splash. They have convinced themselves that Justin Fields to the moon in Chicago, and they believe he's going to be amazing. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm a skeptic. We'll see how he does to begin the year against the Packers, but the Bears are excited. They're all a little giddy there. People are fired up for the Bears, and so we'll see how this plays out. Now, the last word here. So let's go now to Tom Brady's replacement, who has been named, the news coming out early in the day yesterday, that Baker Mayfield has won the job. He will start for a different NFL team for the third consecutive year. Call that the Carson Wentz. So third consecutive year, he wins the Bucs' number one job, beating out Kyle Trask, or as some call him, Kyle Trash. But Baker Mayfield will be the starting quarterback in Tampa. Todd Bowles made things kosher on Tuesday. Is it time for the Buccaneer fans to start stressing out about the idea of watching Baker Mayfield start at quarterback for their favorite NFL team under center? So I'm going to go no. It is not time now to start stressing out. You got to have a grace period. I call it suspended animation, where you kind of pause everything. And you get one game. You get one game. That's it in the NFL, one game. Because one game's worth 10 games in, like, baseball. One game in the NFL is worth 10 games in baseball. So you get one game in football, which is 10 games in baseball. And we'll see what he does against the Minnesota Vikings. But we'll give him the benefit of the doubt, Baker Mayfield, for one game. And Todd Bowles had no easy off-ramp. Lava is the floor there. Anywhere you go, there's lava if you're Todd Bowles. Now, Baker is the lesser of two evils. No one will question the Buccaneers because he's the big name. He was the number one overall pick. He used to do a lot of commercials on television, so people know who he is. But it's like picking how you want to be killed. Would you take the butcher knife or a live hand grenade? Which one are you going to go with? Baker Mayfield is the epitome of big name, little game. If you look at the last 26 games Mayfield has played, or the last couple of years, he has only 6 more touchdowns than interceptions. His yards per attempt is below average. His completion percentage, just over 60%. That blows. And his passer rating, 81. Also El Stinko for Baker Mayfield. So let me rephrase this. Kyle Trask, even though he stinks also, will at some point be playing quarterback for the Buccaneers. They'll be rotating it in, and likely someone not even on the roster will end up playing for Tampa Bay.